So with the 992.1 era coming to an end, the 992.2 will be coming out probably mid to late of this year. So Porsche is actually releasing a lot of 992.1 allocations right now. So if you actually landed one for MSRP, congratulations. The next step will be choosing between the S or the GTS. So that's what I faced when I was planning my own Porsche. So in this short video right here, I'm just going to go through what's the differences between the S, the GTS, the design, power, the exterior, interior, and I'll also go through some like resale values too. So if you guys are interested, keep on watching. So right now we're looking at a 2024 911 Carrera S versus the Carrera GTS. So this is the summary page of the Carrera S. So just to put things into perspective, we won't add any equipment. So the base price for the Carrera S, this is in Canadian, is $150. We won't add taxes, we won't add luxury tax, stuff like that, just to keep everything as simple as possible. So Carrera S is going to be $150, and the Carrera GTS without any equipment will be $167.7. So right off the bat, there's going to be a difference of around $20,000. So we're going to go through what actually sets these two cars apart and if the $20,000 is actually worth it. As simple as possible, I put the S as the yellow and the red as GTS. They're both going to be a no charge. So I'm just going to show the differences only. So from the S, if you add the Chrono Sport package, it's going to be 3.5 seconds from 0 to 100. GTS is going to be 3.4. If you don't add the Sport Chronos package, it'll be 3.7. So technically, it's going to be a 0.3 second difference. So I would say the 0 to 100 kilometer acceleration is really marginal. Top speed, that's really marginal as well. The most different, I would say, is the design. So yellow is going to be the S and the red is going to be the GTS. So let's start from the front. The bumper is the main difference. You can see the intercooler is a bit more pronounced for the GTS, and the bumper is going to be the same color versus the lip. And then the S itself will be, there's a grayish charcoal bumper in the front, right? And the intercooler is a bit less pronounced. Another thing that people didn't see is the headlamps. So you see the headlamps, this is just the regular headlamp, this will be the PDLS, right? The GTS logo. And if you look very closely, there is a slight drop in height. So from the S to the GTS, there is a 10mm ride height drop, right? Other than that, you can see the brakes for the GTS is a bit bigger because it comes from the Turbo S. Both have the red brake calipers. And then from the back brakes, it is bigger too, right? So that's the side view, and we'll see the back view. This is going to be the most difference. Yellow is the S, so you can see it comes with the dual exhaust. And of course, the Carrera S badging. And if you go to the red, you get the single exhaust pipe. And of course, the GTS badging. And the difference is the bumper is a bit different too. So you can see the GTS has a bit of a more aerodynamic bumper, right? It'll look a bit more aggressive, a bit more sporty. Versus the S, you see there's a paint bumper part. Whereas the GTS is going to be strictly carbon. From up top, not a huge difference, right? It's just the length for the back will be around like a centimeter or 2 centimeter difference in length. Interior wise, it's gonna be near the speedometer. You'll see the GTS right over here, right? And then when you go to GTS, you do get the Sport Chrono, which for the S, it'll be in it'll be an additional charge. Other than that, pretty much the same. You see for the steering wheel is exactly the same. It's just in the center console right here, you get a slightly darker accent for the trim right over here. Other than that, pretty much the exact same. Seat-wise, I was actually a bit surprised. It's the same too for the seats, right? Yes, you can get a GTS badging over here, right? Which you have to add the GTS spec or the deviated stitching. Other than that, it's pretty much the exact same exterior. The main difference would be the power. So S will be 390 pound-feet of torque versus 420. If you convert that to horsepower, it'll be 442 versus 470. All in all, it'll be around 30 horsepower difference. You feel it a bit, but it's not like a huge difference. As mentioned before, there is a 20mm difference in length. Weight-wise, pretty much the same, right? Exhaust sound,
as long as you get the PSE, which is the Porsche Sport exhaust from the S, you'll pretty much sound exact same. One huge difference I want to say is that for the GTS, you can actually get the Turbo S rims with no extra charge, which I want to show you right over here. So this one has the Turbo S rims, and then it's got no extra charge. So that's the huge benefit for the GTS. As you guys can see right over here, there is a no cost option.
So apart from the differences from the exterior and interior, I want to go through the feeling. Honestly, from S to a GTS, it's only 30 horsepower difference. So when you drive it, it's not a huge difference. The main difference is the sound deafening. The GTS just less sound deafening, so you actually hear more engine noise, you actually hear more road noise. Suspension wise, around 50% is different on the suspension. It's actually a revised suspension borrowed from the Turbo S. There's helper springs in the rear as well, and as mentioned, you do get the larger brakes from the 911 Turbo S. I actually got to drive both before I actually ordered mine. Honestly, it's not a huge power difference. It's more about the feel. The GTS, I feel it's slightly more open. Again, because there's less sound deafening, you do hear the road noise, you do hear the rocks outside. For resale wise, as you guys can see, it's not a huge difference. I know I'm not comparing apples to apples, but I went through the options. They are pretty close. The main difference is just the S and the GTS. Year-wise, mileage-wise, pretty much the same. See, you actually pay more the GTS up front when you buy your car, but resale value-wise, you actually get the difference back. So honestly, it's not a huge difference. Main thing to really think about is if you do your ideal build, what options would you want or can you forego? Another important point would be the allocations available. You get a bit more allocations for the S. In some dealerships, you get more GTS allocations, so that definitely talk to your Porsche dealerships. And last but not least is ADMs. ADM means the additional dealer markups. Before you do anything, definitely go through that with the dealers as well, because a lot of them, they would say they would only charge you MSRP, but when your car actually comes, they'll be like, oh, there's an additional ADM. So make sure before you sign the contract, make sure to have another extra line at the bottom saying there's no ADM, MSRP only. Make sure to have the manager sign that as well. That really takes everything into consideration because that's above the MSRP. And if you're trading it in or reselling it in the future, that will pretty much get diminished off because people don't really count the ADMs. So before you really consider your next car, make sure to go through all the options, the allocations available, and of course, don't forget the ADM. So hopefully this video will help you guys out. If you have any questions or comments or anything, do leave us a comment below. I'll do my best to answer them. Have a great day, guys. Peace out.